What if the story of civilization did not begin where we were taught to believe it did? 9 discoveries, scattered across the deserts and mountains of Iran, do not simply add footnotes to that story. They challenge its foundation. Each one, on its own, is strange enough. Together, they raise a dangerous question. How much of the human story has already been lost, buried, or erased? Number 9. Susa. In the lowlands of southwestern Iran, along the banks of the Karkay River, lies one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities on Earth, Susa. People have lived on this ground for more than 6,000 years. Elamites ruled here, Persians ruled here, Greeks, after Alexander's conquest, ruled here too. Layer upon layer of empire, stacked into the same patch of earth, each one building on the ruins of the last. Archaeologists excavating Susa have uncovered palaces, temples, and one of the most important legal documents in human history, the Code of Hammurabi, carried here as plunder and buried beneath the sand for nearly 3,000 years before its rediscovery in 1901. But here is what unsettles historians most. Susa was already a major urban center by 4000 BCE, organized, fortified, and administratively complex, at a time when the standard narrative insists cities had barely begun to form anywhere on Earth. If a city this old, this advanced, was thriving in Iran while most of humanity was still scattered and nomadic, what does that mean for everything else we think we know about when civilization actually began? Number 8. Pasargadae, Tomb of Cyrus. Northeast of Persepolis, in a quiet plain surrounded by mountains, stands a structure that has survived nearly 2,500 years, almost untouched. The tomb of Cyrus the Great. Cyrus founded the Achaemenid Empire, the largest the ancient world had ever seen, and did something almost unheard of for a conqueror of his era. He freed enslaved peoples. He respected local customs and religions in the lands he absorbed. Ancient sources describe him not as a tyrant, but as a ruler who governed through tolerance. His tomb reflects that same restraint. No gold, no elaborate murals, just a simple stone chamber raised on a stepped platform, built with a precision that has kept it standing through earthquakes, invasions, and 25 centuries of weather. When Alexander the Great arrived at the tomb in 330 BCE, he reportedly found it looted and ordered it restored, out of respect for the man buried inside. Even his conqueror felt something for him, worth preserving. But the surrounding city of Pasargadae holds a harder question. Cyrus built an empire that stretched from the Mediterranean to the edges of India, using administrative systems, road networks, and legal frameworks so advanced that later empires borrowed directly from them. And yet almost nothing survives of how he actually built it. No detailed records of his methods, no surviving blueprint of his administration, beyond fragments referenced by later historians. A man capable of uniting the ancient world, and we are left reconstructing his methods from the outside, looking in. Number 7. Persepolis. In 518 BCE, the Persian king Darius the Great began construction on a capital unlike anything built before it. Persepolis, set on a raised stone platform at the foot of the Mountain of Mercy, the city took more than 50 years to complete. Towering columns, a grand staircase wide enough for 10 horsemen to ride abreast. Stone reliefs depicting representatives from 23 nations, each bringing tribute to the Persian throne. Scholars still regard it as one of the finest architectural achievements of the ancient world. Inside its walls, Persepolis is believed to have housed something even more valuable than gold, a royal archive, a library accumulating the scientific, administrative, and philosophical knowledge of the entire Persian Empire. In 330 BCE, Alexander the Great burned it to the ground. According to the historian Plutarch, it took 20,000 mules and 5,000 camels just to carry away what was looted before the fires were set. The architecture survived in fragments. The archive did not. What we know about ancient Persia today comes largely from what escaped that fire, or from what foreign historians, often hostile to Persia, chose to record. The scientific knowledge, the philosophy, the astronomical calculations that may have filled that library are gone, and there is no way to know what was lost with them. An entire civilization's intellectual record, reduced to ash in a single night. What might we know today if it had survived? Number 6. Chogha Zanbil. In the dusty plains of Khuzestan in southwestern Iran rises one of the largest and best-preserved ziggurats on Earth, Chogha Zanbil. Built around 1250 BCE by the Elamite civilization, the structure originally stood over 50 meters tall, roughly the height of a 17-story building, and was constructed from an estimated 750,000 baked bricks. It was not simply a temple. It was the religious heart of an entire empire, dedicated to a god named Inshushinak. Every brick was stamped with cuneiform inscriptions honoring the king who built it, Untash Napirisha. The structure includes a water purification system built from underground channels, possibly the oldest of its kind in human history. Its walls were covered in glazed tiles, ivory mosaics, and carvings of mythological creatures. And here is where the mystery deepens. The Elamites built one of the most sophisticated monuments of the ancient world, and yet they remain one of the least understood civilizations in human history. Their language has been only partially deciphered. We know they ruled vast territories. We do not know what they believed happened after death. We do not know the names of most of their gods. We do not even know, with certainty, what they called themselves. A civilization capable of building something that has survived for over 3,000 years, and almost everything they thought, believed, and feared has slipped through our hands. Number 5. Tepe Sialk. Near the modern city of Kashan, in the central plains of Iran, lies one of the oldest continuously inhabited sites ever discovered, Tepe Sialk. Its earliest layers date back to approximately 6,000 BCE, nearly 8,000 years ago. Pottery decorated with intricate geometric patterns, metal tools suggesting knowledge of copperworking centuries before it became widespread elsewhere. Early stepped temples that may predate the ziggurats of Mesopotamia by hundreds of years. But the deepest layers of Tepe Sialk hold something more unsettling than any artifact. Burial sites, where the dead were positioned in deliberate orientations, surrounded by carefully placed pottery, beads, and tools. Not simple graves. Ritual arrangements, suggesting a complex spiritual worldview at a time when much of humanity was still living in scattered hunter-gatherer bands. The standard narrative holds that organized agricultural societies emerged gradually, beginning around 10,000 years ago. Sites like Tepe Sialk, alongside places like Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, suggest something else. That structured, ritualistic, technologically capable communities may have existed earlier and more widely than the timeline allows for. Who were these people, capable of ritual and craft this early in the human story? And how much more of that story is still buried beneath our feet? So, 5 discoveries in, and every single one raises a question no one has fully answered. Which one unsettles you the most so far? Drop your own theory in the comments. Some of the most interesting explanations for what we've covered come from people watching, not from the official record. Number 4. Shahr-e Sukhteh. In the Sistan Basin of eastern Iran, near the border with Afghanistan, lies the ruin of a city that vanished almost overnight. Shahr-e Sukhteh, the burnt city. At its height, around 2,500 BCE, it was one of the largest urban centers in the ancient world, home to an estimated 20,000 people. Streets laid out with deliberate planning, multi-room houses, evidence of trade networks stretching as far as the Indus Valley and Central Asia. Among the artifacts recovered from its graves, one stands apart from anything else found from this period. A prosthetic eyeball, carved from bitumen paste and coated in a thin layer of gold, found in the skull of a woman buried more than 4,800 years ago. Fine gold wire had been used to hold it in place, and traces suggest it may have been engraved with the pattern of an iris and a pupil, designed to catch the light and mimic a living gaze. Elsewhere in the ruins, archaeologists uncovered what may be the earliest known animated image: 5 sequential drawings on a clay cup appearing to show a goat leaping toward a tree, thousands of years before anything resembling animation was believed to exist. And then, sometime after 1800 BCE, the city was abandoned. Gone. No clear sign of war, no clear sign of famine or plague, just an advanced, thriving civilization that walked away from everything it had built and never came back. What happened in the burnt city that made its people leave and never return to reclaim it? Number 3. Qanats. Beneath the deserts of Iran lies a hidden network few outside the region have ever heard of, and it may be the single most impressive feat of ancient engineering ever built. Qanats. The concept is simple. The execution is almost impossible. Ancient Persians discovered that beneath the dry surface of the desert, pockets of groundwater sat hidden within the rock of the foothills. So they dug vertical shafts, some more than 100 meters deep, down into the mountainside. Then, using nothing but hand tools, they carved horizontal tunnels, some stretching more than 70 kilometers, calculating the gradient with such precision that gravity alone carried the water down into distant cities and farms. No pumps, no machinery, just calculation, and an almost unimaginable amount of human labor. Some of these tunnels are still in use today. The Qanat of Ghanabad, built around 700 BCE, still delivers fresh water to more than 40,000 people. A piece of infrastructure older than the Roman Empire, still functioning, nearly 3,000 years after it was carved. There are an estimated 50,000 Qanats across Iran, with a combined length exceeding 300,000 kilometers, enough to circle the Earth more than 7 times over. How did engineers, working without modern surveying tools, calculate gradients precise enough to move water continuously across dozens of kilometers of solid rock? How did they ventilate the tunnels? How did they keep them from collapsing under their own weight? There are theories. There is no full answer. The next time you turn on a tap, consider this. Somewhere in Iran, water is still flowing through channels carved by hands that have been dust for 3,000 years. Number 2. The Baghdad Battery. A clay jar, 13 centimeters tall. Inside it, a copper cylinder. Inside that, an iron rod, sealed in place with asphalt. Discovered in the village of Qujut Rabu, in territory that once belonged to the Persian Parthian Empire, the artifact dates to somewhere between 250 BCE and 224 CE, commonly known as the Baghdad Battery. When researchers in the 20th century filled replicas with an acidic liquid, grape juice or vinegar, both common in ancient Persia, the device produced an electrical current of roughly 1.1 volts. By every technical definition, it is a working battery. Built nearly 2,000 years before Alessandro Volta, is credited with inventing the modern electric battery in 1800. What was it for? Some researchers point to electroplating, coating cheaper metals in a thin layer of gold or silver, a technique that would have transformed ancient jewelry making. Others suggest a medical use, mild electric shocks delivered for therapeutic purposes. Others believe it held nothing more mysterious than a sacred scroll, and the electrical properties are simply an accident of materials. But this was not a single isolated find. Archaeologists have uncovered multiple similar devices across Persian and Mesopotamian sites. Whoever built these understood, on some level, The basic principles of electrochemistry, knowledge that supposedly did not exist until the modern era. Did they stumble onto this by accident and never grasp its true potential? Or is there a chapter of ancient technological history that has been quietly written out of the textbooks? Number 1. Jiroft. In 2001, after a series of devastating floods tore through southeastern Iran, villagers in the Jiroft region began pulling strange objects out of the mud. Carved stone vessels, geometric patterns, mythological creatures rendered in a style unlike anything seen before in the ancient world. Looters moved fast, and black market sales began almost immediately. By the time archaeologists reached the site, they were not just recovering artifacts, they were uncovering an entire lost civilization. The Jiroft culture dates back to approximately 3000 BCE and possibly earlier. Its artifacts include detailed carvings of zebu cattle, scorpions, eagles, and human figures, executed in a style with no clear parallel in Mesopotamian or Egyptian art. Some pieces bear an inscribed script that has never been deciphered, symbols belonging to a written language no living person can read. Here is the question Jiroft forces us to confront. The accepted history holds that civilization began in Mesopotamia around 3500 BCE and spread outward from there. Jiroft suggests something else entirely, that a parallel civilization, just as advanced, just as complex, may have existed in southeastern Iran at the same time, or even earlier. Some Iranian archaeologists have gone further, proposing that Jiroft, not Mesopotamia, may be the true cradle of civilization, with knowledge moving eastward to westward, rather than the reverse. Ancient Sumerian texts mention a wealthy eastern kingdom called Errata. Some believe that kingdom was Jiroft. The script remains unread. The cities remain only partially excavated. And the deeper archaeologists dig, the stranger the timeline becomes. What if the story of civilization was never supposed to begin where the textbooks say it did? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more ancient mysteries and impossible discoveries.